All right, there we go. All right, we are live. Good job, Tim. All right,
Already fucking things up.
Decent Signal. This is episode 2, I believe. And tonight,
right.
we are going to go over a few things. But before we get started, we are in the search of an intern, not to do some of the stuff. We're not going to send them a meth mile or anything like that. We are looking for someone to help us with video. We're doing some postings and stuff like that. So we have 3 individuals. One of them, who was Inspector J, decided to forego the interview process, right?
Yeah, he did. He was very interested. Jay's been on a few podcasts here, a few YouTube shows here and there. He's got a background in this, but apparently he felt like going out to watch the Pats was a bigger deal than being an intern for us. So I guess we're going to have to give him X. He's out.
He gets now.
You're out, Jay.
The other gentleman who I'm highly interested in was Raymond. Now, Raymond, he has all the qualifications.
I think, yep.
But what is the big issue? He doesn't have a working computer.
A little bit of an issue. So what we're looking for, I can see Matt in the waiting room talking to himself right now. So as people may know, as a very wise man said, and this is going to segue into something else we're talking about, Decent Signal and the 2 knuckleheads you see right here, we're not really good with follow-through. We're good out of the gate, pretty strong in the first stretch, and then things kind of taper off. So we need someone to do audio and video. I get a DM at 6:30 this morning that said my computer was broken, and what did I text you? I think we found our guy.
I think we found our guy. It's like a match made in heaven. All right, so why don't we? So now we got Matt.
Now we have Matt.
In? Okay.
Yep. All right, Matt. We're gonna bring you in here. Matt from Rhode Island. There he is. Hey, Matt.
Listen, I gotta be honest. I didn't know what I was getting into, and then when you said you had 3 people possible, I'm like, am I gonna have to beat off 2 other guys on here live?
Yeah, wait a minute. You'd have to what?
I'd have to beat off 2 other guys. I caught myself there. Yeah, beat off 2 other guys. I'm gonna stick with it. But
you are.
But now, like with it, one guy not showing up and the other one with a broken computer, I feel like my chances are good.
Most people would think that. Most people would think that.
I like your confidence, Matt. I like your positive attitude. I like your vernacular, beating off, saying it 3 times. You know, that's a plus for us for sure. So we wanted to have you come on and just by way of introduction, you want to tell us a little bit about yourself and how you got into the Minifan world?
Yeah. So
all right, that's enough. So Steve, what's your first question?
You obviously have working internet. Are you talking to us from a phone right now or from a laptop?
From a desktop PC.
I like someone that has a phone.
I got a phone.
All right. Tim?
So Steve had said we're not going to send you to Meth Mile, but there are some famous interns out there. Are you familiar with one, Miss Lewinsky?
I am.
And are you familiar with some of the duties that she had?
I do. I'm very aware of the duties that she had to do. Yes. Yeah.
Would that be out of the realm of possibility? I
mean, I'd say no, but I'm gonna for the interview, I'm gonna say yeah. Anything goes. Again, I beat off anybody to get the job.
Let's say, Steve, I like a guy who's willing to lie.
You know what? I think I gotta be honest. I think I want to go in a different direction. If we're being honest with each other, Tim. I mean,
with the broken computer guy.
What direction do you want to go in?
Not you. Not your direction.
Steve, I wouldn't want to go your direction either.
I think we're gonna have to convene and really noodle over this, Matt. I know that you've got a studio.
Yes, right? I do.
Are you employed?
I am. Yes, I am currently employed.
Oh, that's bad. That's not good. That's not good.
I feel like this is the opposite of how a normal interview would go.
Do
I have a working computer? Yeah. No, I'd rather have you doing it from a phone. Do you have a job? Oh, I'd rather you not have a job.
Are you in college? Or are you looking for some college credit?
No, definitely not looking for college credit. I am far out of college.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Well, Matt,
less paperwork for you guys, to be honest.
I don't know if you've noticed, we don't really do much.
No, that is a lie. That is a lie. You guys are hilarious. Number one.
So Well, buttering us up is nice. That's another. I'm going to give you another point for that one. But did you happen to? I already lost my train of thought. Forget it.
But you do know that this is a very, very low paying job, right? Like this, you get really nothing out of this whatsoever. There's probably no satisfaction. You get no money out of the deal, and you probably feel guilty about yourself at the end of the day.
Yeah, and a little dirty.
Yeah, I mean, I was looking for a little bit of pay, but I'll go with nothing. How about some Peggy Lawton brownies?
Those are gone.
Yeah,
They're all gone. They're all gone. You have nothing left.
Oh, I knew the question I had for you, Matt. So, I work at traditional hours being like 8 to 6.
Yeah.
Steve works nights, so essentially this is a 24-hour job.
Okay.
Because we might have an idea in the middle of the night, the middle of the day. So we're really looking for somebody that's got no life, that's willing to give us their all for nothing. Are you that type of guy?
Yeah, that's a lot. That is a lot to ask for. Yeah,
Sorry,
I'm gonna try my best. I'm gonna try
All
my
right,
best.
I'll tell you what. So we'll give you a kind of like an internship. So give you a project. All right. So we are in the process. So if you listen to this later on, you'll see that we failed miserably at 3 projects this weekend. One thing that we're interested in doing is talking to Vinny Pazienza for no other reason other than the fact that he's a little fucked up in the head, and we kind of want to have a conversation with him. So he has a lady that deals with all of his bookings, podcast bookings, all of his appearances and everything.
Yeah.
If you can get in touch with her and get a conversation going with her and find out if he is available, then you probably have the job.
All right.
Is that fair enough?
I can try that. That's fair.
That's fair, right?
That's
fair.
Fair.
And in fact, we'll send you her contact info.
Yeah, definitely. Send it over.
All right, Matt. Awesome. Thank you very much, buddy.
Thank you, guys.
Hey, Matt. Thanks for joining.
Yeah, no problem.
All right, I'll catch up with you later, buddy.
Have a good show.
All right, thanks, man. Bye-bye.
I can't hire him.
Oh, that went well.
I can't hire him. He's too qualified.
He had a better microphone than you and I combined. He's overqualified. I have a feeling he might know a little bit more than you and I about everything.
Wants brownies. Obviously, you didn't see the guy that was making them.
That was kind of a plus, though. If it's just a matter of brownies, that could lead to a lot of content. So,
all right. So the way it started off today, this whole weekend has been a fucking disaster. So we'll talk about going on the show later on. We went on the show. We were looking at batting about 250 when we left that office.
1 for 4.
1 for 4. So we had 3 things in the works. All right. So one of them got canceled actually on the show by Carano was supposed to bleep out the name of Mike's blind school. This way, there was pretty much, because I knew you and I talked about it on the way up there. We went and looked before we got there. Went to his blind school again for like the 3rd or 4th time. And if word got out of the name of the place, we knew that it was going to be fucking. It was going the whole thing was going to be. It was going to be fucking bad. And everything went well, I thought, in studio as far as not releasing the name of the place until I heard the podcast. And not only was the name of the place released, also the lady that deals with everything, her name was released. I tried calling on Friday, and I finally got through, and it was almost like the place had been filled up with phone calls the whole morning.
Mm-hmm.
So, because I had asked about going, I said I lied and said I had a press pass, and she was told that to send all my information so she could do some back checking, which the last time that we had talked to her, she never mentioned to before. So I got a feeling that a lot of people, I don't think we're going to get in there.
I agree. I think it's been submarined. I think she is, she's on to, not necessarily us, but she knows that there is something afoot. I don't think the press pass is going to matter anymore. And a lot of people are confused about why we want the press pass. I don't know if that was cut out of the episode, but we did have a plan. Although maybe we could use it to get into the White House too. So we were going to try that. Yeah. But I'm with you. I think that ship has been sunk.
Yes. The whole idea behind the press pass was you and I were going to say that we were writing for a local patch. which is a local. It's a citywide, townwide newspaper that goes out. Everyone is different than the next town, and we were going to say that we were there to write for it. We were putting in columns, and we were going to take some pictures, and hopefully we were going to be able to get some video of Mike at a speaking engagement, and that is fucking Dunsville. So that was one of our projects.
Yes.
Then you texted me this morning at I think it was around the same time that you texted me about the interns, and not a great text from you.
No, a little bit surprised by the Braintree Womp, Butch Stearns. That's the name of their teams, the Womps. Tweeted out that he had a special on Channel 25. For those not familiar with Butchie Stearns, he's a longtime local Boston sports guy, mostly TV. He's been on the radio a little bit, and he tweeted out that he had a story he was doing about the fighting McNeelys, from Tom McNeely to the grandfather down through Hurricane Peter McNeely.
Fucking
Our
goddamn
white
it.
whale, our local white whale we've been hunting for months and months and months. Now I know why we couldn't find him. We got scooped. We got scooped by Butchie Stearns.
You suck.
I do. You did say that. You did say I'm a terrible investigator, which I had to remind you I'm in the technology sector, and that's not actually my job.
You fucking suck.
We got freaking. I think the word got out. I think he heard us on. Well, he definitely listens to Kirk, and I think he heard that we were chasing this down. And he said, "I got to get this thing out of the can and on the TV as soon as possible before these two dopes scoop me."
You are fucking such a
So that's bringing that batting average down. We're really striking out.
I pulled over and I watched that little 3-minute video, and it was fucking little tears going down my eyes as I was watching. So now we still had one project left in the tank, which was Operation Finding Eddie, which is something that Fez and I had been working on, which was
separate projects,
still connected, but so we were texting with the guy, and the guy basically told us to go fuck ourselves.
in no uncertain terms. So this is the first update I'm getting about Finding Eddie.
He and I had, myself and Fez had an appointment on today at around, I think it was 9:45, and we basically we were buying a car from this guy. This car was basically something that I've wanted for years and years. It was the first car that I ever had, which was a 1986 Mustang GT. It was a complete shitbox, but there was a reason why we were going for it. And I offered the guy $5. I said, I will give you, he basically told us not to come over, make us an offer over the phone. So I said, I'll give you $5 cash. Now I was planning on $500 cash.
I was going to say, how much did the 5 represent?
Amazing. That's the same thing he said. And I said five crispy $100 bills.
Not green and wrinkly, but crispy.
And he told me his exact wording was, you better add another 0 to the left of that decimal point. And I'm like, what the fuck? So everything that we had built up with that was fucking gone. He basically told us to take a hike. He stopped responding. I think he blocked us both. He stopped responding back to the text messages. So now we are fucking below.
So failure number 2 of the day.
2 of the day, 3 of the weekend.
3 of the week,
Oh,
2 of the day. So since Thursday, when did we go in? Thursday.
Yeah.
So since Thursday, we have had, we're 0 for 3.
Yes. Great show visit. Horrible.
It's all down. People did say it would be all downhill from there, and I've got to say they were right.
Yes. So Fez is going to help us, though. Fez is definitely, very helpful. He is going to be our gift guy. Fez does horrible fucking gifts, which makes it even better. Fez is going to do the gifts for our show, and he's my Rhode Island guy. He's going to help me with doing stuff in Rhode Island. And if there are people that are confused about what we are doing, we don't actually know what we're doing, but we are just going to do, I guess, some ridiculous investigations is what you would call them. Is that fair?
Yeah, I think investigations, interviews, some actual, I don't know if you call them field trips, but some events where we'll be out in the field, some Q&A. So yes, we'll definitely be, it would be kind of a variety show. I would equate us to people who used to listen to Howard Stern. I would call us the podcast Jesus twins.
Yes.
if you can feel my ubiquity. So I think it'll be along those lines.
Can you imagine between the both of us, we had 90-something years old, and this is what my kids must be so proud.
I know. Meanwhile,
All
my
right.
son, we just got home from hockey, and last 2 minutes he got nailed knee on knee, can barely walk, and I had to make sure I get in here to talk about our failures.
All right, so
Good
some
parenting.
positive stuff. Positive
Yes,
stuff.
on the upside.
On the upside, last night I logged on to Twitter, and I seen a picture of today's guest
To the KMS show.
to the KMS show, Justin Durant, and he put up a nice selfie from him inside the mirror, asking how he looked.
And let me just see if I can pull that up. Give me 1 second. This is why we need an intern, because neither of us know how to do this.
As soon
Not
as-
even flying by the seat of our pants. We are not even flying.
Right after that, he posted a picture of his dinner receipt with his tip. He posted a picture of his golf
Okay.
clubs.
Let me see if I can share this. All right. So this is.
Please.
Can you see it?
Not yet.
This is Justin Durant, fresh from Florida. Dinner for one, and he had taken a selfie. And as you can see, Kirk wrote, for those of you that go to Mike's Blind School, this is the guy who won the co-host raffle. He's in studio tonight. I'll be murdered by 8:15, so we've got about 30 minutes before Kirk is killed. Someone teach Harry how to throw a curveball in 3 years for me.
Now, as the day started going on, this photo took a life of its own, which made me fucking laugh. People started adding to it, so it was myself, Dave Cullinane got added to it, and Rich Mandarin got added to it. Fez.
And let's just see if we can find that. Is that under your feed?
I don't know.
So it morphed into something even more. I have another picture we have to show. I've only got the one with the three of you.
Look on. If you look down, if you look in his responses, that guy Justin, if you can go on his account and look under some of the responses,
It'll be in there.
Yeah,
Okay.
it'll be some pictures, but it made me laugh because so when you and I went in there, you and I
Unbelievable day.
You and I, it was
Unbelievable.
great. You and I actually had a talk, I think a couple nights beforehand, and we said, don't do anything stupid leading up to it. Don't say anything that can be used against you. When we go in the studio, our main things that we wanted to do was, one, get a couple laughs out of him.
There's the dinner
There's
receipt.
the-
$70, $30 tip, $100, rounded up. Good tip he wanted to know.
Why'd you just
There's the meal.
why'd you just fucking take your dick out and throw it on there as well?
And there's the picture. So let's find. Not seeing it.
No,
Ah,
that's a fucking shame. He maybe got to raise. Listen.
I'll find one of them.
All I know is
Let's
this:
get three of you.
the last thing, the absolute. Now, I will say first and foremost, so he reached out to me when he started getting a little bit of slack, and I said that everyone was just playing that he should keep posting pictures. That was
gets-
my own.
You got slack or flack?
Same thing. I told him.
Here we go.
I told him to keep posting pictures.
And he unwisely did, correct?
And I also told him that when he goes into that studio, the best thing to do would probably be take pictures from Kirk's desk, and and Kirk definitely wants to sit around and talk
Chit
afterwards.
chat. Did you tell him to sit in his chair too?
Yes, yes.
So here is. Can you see the picture? It's Mandarin, Dave Cullinane, you. I don't see Fez in here though. This is from Fez.
Yeah, there's
Dave looks like he's getting very cozy with him too.
that picture from Cullinane is from Jack Abbey.
Oh, when he was talking to Kirk.
Most uncomfortable conversation.
So you gave Justin some real solid advice on ways in which he could be invited back.
I told him the exact opposite of the stuff that you and I had planned before
Yes.
we went up there. So
Yeah.
I thought it was solid. And, rather than not listen to me, he listened to me. So, which could have worked out better, to be completely honest.
So are we thinking that at this point, Sheldon from
Yeah.
North Dakota
Yeah.
is going to be barred from coming in, not because it's Sheldon, but because Kirk will put the kibosh on any further Minifans coming into that studio.
I don't know if Kirk's going to make it out of the studio alive.
Now, according to him, he's not. And if anybody saw Justin's tweets, he took pictures of all of the swag that he
Yes.
has from the
Yes.
Kirk Minahan show.
Yes.
And we'll
Yes.
see if we can find that real
Yes.
quick.
Yes, that's that. Now, I will just one thing that I've learned and have paid attention to through the years is that's probably the last thing you want to do. You probably just want to go in there and let him find something. Like with you and I, he found stuff about my mother, stuff like that. Let him find something. Don't go in there. Don't do anything to hurt your appearance, so to speak. Yeah, there you go.
There's Justin's swag. I will say he's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, at least 11 KMS t-shirts
Yes.
and sweatshirts.
Yes.
So he's a very, very dedicated Minifan. But yeah, you and I talked quite a bit about going in there and how fortunate we were, first of all. And the other thing I want to say is just following up what you said last night on Justin and the Minifans is that as nice as it's been, how complimentary people have been to both of us.
Yeah.
Which is, who doesn't like to hear nice things about you? There's only one reason that we were even remotely funny, and it's Kirk. That's it.
Kirk
Beginning,
and Kevin.
middle,
and
end.
I say Kevin as well because that.
Kevin was outstanding.
That
Yeah.
fucking phone call was so funny. That
In the song.
How many times have you heard that call?
I love the call. I love the song. I've listened to each probably at least 5 times. But there's, look at us now. We can't be as funny as Kirk had us look to be funny. No script, no notes.
No, nothing.
Gets in, dives right in, and he digs up some classic stuff like calling your mom.
Yes.
I mean, it's just amazing. There was no talk beforehand about it.
Nothing.
We were sitting in the presence of greatness. It was amazing to actually see.
It was a lot of fun.
I had a blast. Like I told you, I laughed 90% of the time, and the other 10% was only because I was talking. It was the most fun I've ever had at a situation like that. Is just absolutely amazing. The guy, he's one in a million.
Yep, that was a great time. So
we're fortunate.
So now we are out of projects, and we have. So
well, not really. So there is that project he asked me to dive into, which hits very close to home.
Well,
because some people didn't hear that name or write it down, and some people may have committed it to memory.
Yep.
Even the spelling. So there is a potential for a project you can't be involved in.
Are you going to find that fucking car? Do you plan on ever trying to find a Suburban?
Oh yeah, you know what? That's kind of gone by the wayside. That's I think that's a 5x5 cube of metal and cum right now, and that's about it. I had a lot of help from TJ on that, but we really weren't getting anywhere. So we do have a couple more things that we need to follow up on for projects. Yep. Whoever is our intern, we do have some ideas. You and I have talked about it. The cookies, the Commander, and the Kong. A story of arson, Asians, and an ass. So there'll be a video that we're putting together for that. I'm not giving up on McNeely. Not yet. We can still follow through with that.
It's like fucking a hooker after she just got done with someone's room.
Good point. Yeah. Valid point. We're going to walk away with some disease. The experience is going to be terrible. But I can guarantee you Butch Stearns is not going to ask the same questions that we will ask. Or if we could get the fight between Ted Sellers and Hurricane McNeely, That's
Yes.
another thing that's a potential for us. But you are right. We're quickly running out of projects, and I have a feeling there may not be an episode 3 of this.
Did you you happen to watch the show last night? And I'm gonna have some of your wine that you gave me right now. And you know how you can tell quality wine when the top
That's right, baby.
twists?
Just Did you have the other twist off bottles? They're all twist off, right?
I have one bottle left. It's amazing. Every morning I wake up, shit my pants. I feel sick.
It's good for your stomach.
So, one thing, did you watch Justin and the Minifans last night? How do you feel at all that Justin and Chris actually made up some good points? It was actually funny. Like when they got into a fight, the last thing I'm going to do is interject in the middle of that. That's one of the situations where I think you just sit back and let it play out between the two guys, regardless of how petty it gets or to where it goes. I think someone in my position just sits there, and where usually I open up my mouth 90% of the time, just sit back and let it go.
I'm with you. I saw the first 15 minutes or so while I was waiting to go into a hockey game.
Mhm.
I just say that because I wanted to be on that last night so bad, but I didn't have the time. So I was able to witness you guys on it, and I'm with you. I mean, you gotta step back and let the boys fight. I think it was a good call.
Yeah.
I know people were saying, "What's Steve doing? Why isn't he saying anything?" Well, maybe because Chris and Justin were really going at it. It got a little feisty. Felt like I was watching a Jerry Springer from the old days.
Yeah.
But I didn't see how it all played out. I only saw where things get a little heated. And I think the issue was, did Justin know what really happened and played it off as if he didn't? Was that the issue?
Yeah, it was. Me and you basically knew exactly. I had when we were calling, and it didn't work out so well for the editing of the blind school thing. But as far as calling my mother, I had no problem with the calling. I thought it was actually funny once we got into it. I was a little nervous at first, but I did say, "Do you mind not?" So it really doesn't matter now because she hasn't. I didn't beforehand. I didn't know she hadn't worked there in over a decade. So that really didn't matter. But there was a lot of edits that really had to take place, and they had to go do something afterwards. So there just wasn't enough time.
Right.
So,
and you and I talked about that and said we're not getting in that mix. That's
it's
his show. It's his call.
And not for nothing, I just got in my own bucket of shit for the thing with Mike and the fucking Sacco show talking out of it's not my fucking show.
So you see, and you learned a lesson.
I am not saying shit. I knew why it wasn't posted yet, but it's not my business to say anything.
But how hard were we laughing when Carano Matt was getting skewered on Twitter when we were driving home, and I was reading them to you, and we were laughing because we knew it was not his fault. That secret project that they were going to, they literally went right to that. We saw them when we were leaving, and I think it was time sensitive that they had to get there. And Matt did have a lot of edits that he had to do that were requested by you, and that Kirk had also said take those out.
Yeah.
And there was a lot. He even said he was having trouble with the computer that morning, and there was a lot of edits that he had to do. I don't know how hard it actually is, but you could tell he was working the whole time trying to get things up to speed. So, but again, not our place to reveal that. So we let Matt, we let him hang out in the wind for a little while.
None of my business.
It's not, but he did a good job. But man, did he get skewed? I think the one comment was, "Where's the show, dickhead?" And we said, okay, that would really make me want to get the show up quicker, right? I mean, you can't do anything right. So God bless him. He took it in stride, but it sounds like they had a very busy day.
Yes. So do you, all right. So basically this is our first full week of trying to do something. So we fucking suck.
We're terrible.
We're going to get better. I do like that guy. We're gonna use Matt.
He's
Matt.
Matt from Rhode Island.
So we're gonna use him, and we'll see how it goes. But other than that, so we're gonna do it again next week. I just hope that I would like one thing to fucking go right.
If anybody remembers the Jesus Twins now, the podcast Jesus Twins here, I'll say it again so it sticks in everybody's mind. They had a manager. We need a manager. So we're idea men. We're not follow through guys.
You're fucking.
You're talking to a guy who unloaded 6 bottles of screw top wine on his partner who has a clock that's still broken. So take that all in. Take that all in and understand what you deal with.
Yeah.
So Matt's going to have his hands full, but he seems legit. He's got a studio. He's got all the equipment, but we need to get the content to the guy.
So
So
I was going to get donuts with my son this morning. We went to a place to get donuts. It was big, not Dunkin', just like a regular donut place. And you sent me that message, and I pull over and I go, "Oh, what the fuck?" He goes, "What's the problem, Dad?" I go, "We didn't get Hurricane McNeely." He fucking knows what the hell I'm talking about.
poor kid. Well, I will say this. I would commit that we will have a Peter McNeely on the show. We will 100% have a Peter McNeely on this show.
I really wanted the one with bad shoes. Like I didn't want that.
I wish I had gotten a picture of him. Oh, the poor guy. So, all right. So we're going to come up with some ideas for some projects
Yes.
that we're going to work on to deliver content. We still have to get that video of the cookie factory
Yes.
chopped up and put out
Yes.
there. And
Yep.
I think you and I had some funny ideas around that we'll
Yep.
get to Matt.
Yep.
If he's still willing to do it after we just basically trashed him for 5 minutes.
All right.
We know he's right for us if he says yes.
Yes, absolutely. All right.
Otherwise, he's too professional.
With that, we will see you hopefully next week.
Look at Lua.
All right.